There has been a renewed clamor by the Southern and Middle Belt Forum for restructuring. The region leaders under the aegis of the Southern and Middle Belt Leaders Forum has returned to their political trench to address President Tinubu to start implementing the recommendations of the 2014 National Conference. The request is contained in the latest communique issued arising from their Thursday night meeting in Abuja. The communique reached the Southern Examiner after former President Goodluck Jonathan met with President Tinubu in Aso Rock. The group chaired by Chief Edwin Clark is, however, made up of leaders from the Middle Belt and Ohaneze Ndigbo, Afenifere, and the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, PANDEF. The forum wants President Tinubu to take an urgent look at the Confab report and the report of the All Progressives Congress on true federalism. All right, then. Well, Emmanuel Iwuanyanwu joins us now to discuss this topic. Now, before we even get into this, we've only just found out about the passing of Professor Ben Nwabweze, and I just wanted, before we get into the crux of the issue, if you could just comment on this and just give a few words regarding his passing and who he was to you, especially your organization.
Well, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. It's very sad to hear about the death of Professor Nwabweze. But however, we give thanks to God. We give thanks for God, for his creation, for his preservation, for all the good things that God did to Igbo land and Nigeria through Professor Nwabweze. Indeed, Nwabweze is one of the founding fathers of new Ohaneze Ndigbo. And in fact, the new Ohaneze Ndigbo had Jerome Udoji as the first Secretary General. At that time, Secretary General was the highest position. Professor Nwabweze was his deputy. When Jerome Udoji retired and became a traditional ruler, Professor Nwabweze took over as Secretary General of Ohaneze Ndigbo. And in fact, he did a lot. He did a lot for Ohaneze Ndigbo. We will miss him. He's a very forthright, very straightforward, very patriotic, and a very resourceful man. We are going to miss him. We give thanks for his life and services. May God accept his soul.
May his soul rest in perfect peace. Thank you for that. As we read in the intro, just as we were introing you to come on to the show, Afenifere, PANDEF,
yes,
the Middle Belt Forum, and some other groups have formed in order to present this restructuring package, as a lack of better way to describe it, in order for the federal government and the National Assembly to take heed of the issues that are currently facing the country due to these issues of bad restructuring. Well, do you think that it will have the intended results that we're hoping for?
Thank you very much. You see, we had the amalgamation of Nigeria in 1914. You see, in the life of anybody or any country, there is a moment to pause for a while. And at that time, you reflect on the past, you examine the present, and you peep in the future. We in Nigeria, we have come to that point when we must have to look at situation. Things have turned very bad, and it is clear to any patriotic Nigerian that we require the collective support and then support of everybody. Everybody must work very hard to make sure that our beloved country continues to survive in strength. I think really that at this point in time, it is clear that we require restructuring. The constitution we have today cannot sustain unity, sustain peace. You see, there is clamor for secession from many places. I believe that once the country is restructured, once the constitution is revisited and brought back to what we had by independence, it took us a very long time to have the independent constitution. At a point, there was a constitutional conference in Lancaster House in London. That conference, virtually all the federating communities had representation, and they chose a constitution at that time, which was in fact a federal constitution. That constitution brought us brought us successfully to independence. Later, there was a military coup, and then Nigeria turned to a unitary system.
Well,
that has not helped at all.
Mr. Iwuanyanwu, I apologize for interrupting you at this moment. Thank you for joining us on the program.